Welcome to The Explainer. What if I told you that some of the most baffling, straight-up inexplicable events in American history are just sitting right there in plain sight? Now look, we aren't here today to talk about easily debunked myths or cases of simple mistaken identity. Nope. Instead, we're diving into an undeniable, documented escalation of evidence surrounding the absolute most shocking UFO cases in U.S. history.
And here is the kicker. What if the witnesses weren't just random people? Right? This is the crucial point that takes this whole topic from late-night internet folklore to serious documented history. We're not talking about isolated, unverified rumors here. We are talking about mind-bending encounters reported by highly trained, credible professionals, people who often had literally everything to lose by coming forward with their stories.
I mean, think about it. We are dealing with military pilots, police officers, astronauts, even the United States government itself. When highly trained observers, people whose literal 9-to-5 job is to secure our airspace and identify aerial threats, when they tell us they saw something impossible, it becomes incredibly difficult to just brush these cases off. So let's trace exactly how this whole phenomenon evolved.
Section 1. Roswell and Area 51. The blueprint for secrecy.
Okay, the chronological whiplash of this event is it's absolutely stunning. Picture it. It's July 1947. A rancher finds this strange, unbendable, metallic debris scattered all over his land. And get this, the U.S. Army actually puts out an official press release stating they recovered a flying disc. Literally, America completely panics with excitement. But then, mere hours later, the military abruptly changes its story. Suddenly, it's just a weather balloon. This instantaneous flip-flop absolutely ignited decades of deep public suspicion, and it took decades before the government finally declassified the real story. Project Mogul.
So, decades later, the truth comes out. Project Mogul was a top-secret U.S. military Cold War surveillance project utilizing high-altitude balloons designed to detect Soviet nuclear tests. Now, honestly, this official explanation actually makes perfect logical sense. The government was indeed hiding something, but it was experimental Cold War tech, not aliens. But here is the fascinating part. This completely logical answer utterly failed to convince millions of people. Why? Because the seed of public doubt had already been firmly planted.
You see, that extreme secrecy created a huge vacuum. On one hand, you had explosive conspiracies of crashed UFOs and alien bodies hidden away in underground labs. But the documented reality was honestly just as secretive. Remote testing grounds for the U-2 spy plane and cutting-edge stealth technology. Think about it. If you saw a stealth aircraft tearing through the sky decades before the public even knew it existed, yeah, for sure you'd think it was an alien spaceship. The extreme confidentiality maintained by the government basically created the perfect breeding ground for the wildest theories to take hold and flourish.
Moving on to Section 2. The first alien abduction. Betty and Barney Hill.
Back in 1961, the Hills were driving through New Hampshire late at night, and their experience established this incredibly chilling three-step formula that has influenced practically every single abduction story since. First, they were followed by a strange, approaching light in the sky. Second, they get home, but they experience unexplained missing time, actual hours simply gone from their memory with zero rational explanation. And third, hypnotic regression was used, which uncovered these terrifying memories of being taken aboard a craft and physically examined. Now, whether you believe it was a genuine, unexplainable event or false memories created by the hypnosis itself, this specific case fundamentally changed the entire UFO narrative forever.
Fast forward a bit to Section 3. The Phoenix Lights. Mass panic in 1997.
Imagine this, thousands of people across Arizona looking up and witnessing an enormous, silent, V-shaped object with glowing lights. We're talking about an event on a truly massive scale. Regular families, police officers, and even the state governor at the time looked up and saw this gigantic thing just slowly drifting across the horizon. Witnesses described it as being the size of multiple football fields. It was literally blocking out the stars as it passed overhead.
And this event perfectly highlights the massive disconnect between authorities and the public. The military comes out and claims, hey, these were simply flares dropped during A-10 training exercises. But thousands of eyewitnesses, they consistently reported something entirely different, a silent, slow-moving, gigantic, solidly structured craft. To this day, the people who were actually there insist that what they saw that night was absolutely not just flares falling through the sky. No way. All right, Section 4, the Tic Tac encounter, the turning point.
So, the year is 2004. Pilots from the highly trained USS Nimitz carrier strike group, including Commander David Fravor, encounter this white, pill-shaped object hovering over the Pacific Ocean, and this thing displayed literally impossible physics. No wings, no visible engines or exhaust, instant acceleration. Fravor said it moved erratically, kind of like a ping-pong ball bouncing in a glass. And then, it literally disappeared from their state-of-the-art radar in seconds. This craft behaved in ways that completely broke our current understanding of aerodynamics. Period.
But the absolute crucial shift here happened when the U.S. Pentagon officially confirmed that the FLIR infrared footage captured by those Navy pilots is real. The government itself went on record to say, yes, this footage is authentic and we have no idea what this object is. That stunning public admission permanently shifted the entire topic. We are no longer talking about late-night internet conspiracies, guys. We are now deeply embedded in serious, documented national security matters.
Which brings us to today. Section 5. The modern UAP hearings. Demand for the truth.
The year 2023 marked an absolutely unprecedented cultural shift. We saw highly decorated former intelligence officers and military personnel sitting right there in front of Congress, testifying under oath about unexplained aerial phenomena. Major news networks weren't treating this as a joke anymore, or some quirky human interest story. They were covering it as breaking, serious news with massive implications.
And it was during these very hearings that we heard some of the most staggering claims ever made in a public forum. Consider this exact quote from David Grush, a former intelligence officer. Under oath, he stated, "The government possesses recovered non-human craft." Let that sink in for a second. Now, the Pentagon has firmly denied many of these claims, but the mere fact that a high-ranking intelligence official is willing to state this under penalty of perjury, that explains exactly why the demand for transparency has reached an absolute boiling point today.
So, what should you really take away from all of this? Are these sightings just secret military black projects? Are they incredibly advanced foreign surveillance drones? Or do some of these cases truly involve something entirely beyond our current understanding? The overarching, provocative mystery remains completely unsolved. We have gone all the way from crashed weather balloons in the desert to Pentagon-verified infrared footage, yet we are still staring up into the sky, asking the exact same question generations before us have asked: are we alone? Thank you so much for joining me on this explanator. Keep your eyes on the skies and always keep questioning what you see.